guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be taking you through a 15-minute front splits static stretch. This is the perfect stretching routine to do if you are working towards your splits, and I would recommend doing it whilst you are warm. So do it after a run, do it after a workout. It's completely up to you, but you will get more benefit of stretching when your muscles are warm. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you work towards your front splits. Please give me a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And let's go. So we're going to start the stretching routine in this kind of squat position. Your feet are going to be nice and close together, or you can take them a little bit further apart, maybe about shoulder width. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press the heels into the floor, extend the legs, fold the upper body towards the legs. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to drop back into that squat position. Once again, extending those legs, taking the bum nice and high, tensing the quads, relaxing through the hamstrings, trying to bring the chest as close to the legs as we can, and we're just going to hold here for 20 seconds this time. Ten more seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, bending those legs back into that squat, and then for the final time we're going to push back into that power fold, this time holding for 30 seconds. So extend those legs, lift the bum. You have the option to grab both elbows and just hang towards the floor. You can hold your hands, hold the back of your legs and pull yourself gently deeper into the stretch, or you can just rest the hands on the floor. It's completely up to you. Each time you exhale, try and take the body a little bit closer to the legs. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, walk the hands out, push the heels into the floor. Try and keep them onto the floor for the longest time possible as you walk out into a high plank position. And then I want you to bring the left leg forwards into a long lunge and just drop that back knee onto the floor. Take each hand either side of the leg, so we're focusing on keeping those hips nice and square. And now we're going to hold this position for 30 seconds. So it's up to you whether you'd like to keep the hands on the floor or whether you'd like to bring the hands onto the knee. And I just want you to think about driving this back hip towards the floor. You can square up the hips if you want to. And you're just going to relax into the position for the duration of the stretch. So we've got 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just going to place your hands back onto the floor. You're going to tuck the toe under of this back leg, and then what you're going to do is you're going to push the weight backwards to come into this kind of long hamstring lunge. Square the hips up so you'll feel a stretch through the front hamstring. We're going to hold 30 seconds here as well. If you tense the quad of the front leg, you should feel you'll get a little bit of a deep stretch through the hamstring and maybe be able to relax a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to drop that back leg, but this time we're going to lift the chest and kind of come into this 90-90 position. So we're going to stretch our hip flexors now. We've got two options to do this. The first option, we're just going to rotate the pelvis underneath, really create that posterior pelvic tilt, and then gently drive forwards with the hips. So we can do that. Or you can drop that hip into a bit of a deeper lunge, reach the arm behind and pull that leg close. It's completely up to you which one of these stretches you do. I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to get into that position. 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to be holding 30 seconds from now. You should feel a stretch through the quad and through the hip flexor. Even if you are doing the same position as me on the screen, try to emphasize that pelvic tilt. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Gently let that leg fall back to the floor, and then I just want you to change those legs over, so just moving the other leg in front, and we're just going to completely repeat that process. So starting off with that long lunge, drive the hips into the floor, keeping the hands on the floor or lifting the chest. 30 seconds from now. Think of that tilt in the hips, think of tucking the glutes under, squaring the hips, and then just gently pushing this hip down towards the floor. 15 more seconds. Focusing on your breathing. Each time you exhale, try to relax a little bit more into the stretch. You don't have to deepen the stretch. 3, 2, 1. Hands back to the floor, folding that toe under, shifting the weight backwards, straightening and extending that front leg, squaring the hips up, and 30 seconds from now. Try to keep the back nice and flat. Try to avoid too much rounding, as we won't feel the stretch as much through the front hamstring. You can use blocks to support your hands, but really square that hamstring up and relax, tensing the quad to deepen the stretch through the hamstring. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then dropping the knee, either coming into this position with that overemphasized pelvic tilt, or shifting the weight forwards, taking the opposite arm round and back and pulling into that hip flexor stretch for 30 seconds. Breathe through that discomfort. We shouldn't be feeling pain, but it should be mildly uncomfortable to kind of find the right intensity for the stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax that leg, and then shifting backwards, back into the long lunge on the other leg. So we want to redo these stretches, so we bring it up to a total of 1 minute. So back to that long lunge. You might find that your body allows you into a slightly deeper position this time. Take a nice deep breath, relax, square the hips. You can even play around with squeezing the back glute. And relax as much as you can into the stretch. We have 20 seconds left. 10 to go. 3, 2, 1. Same as before. Tuck the toe under, push the leg back, extend through the front leg, lengthen out the spine, square the hips. Flat hands or fingertips, or any position where you feel most comfortable. You want to find a position that you don't need to come in and out of. You just want to find a position that you can stay in for the whole time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that knee, finding whichever position is comfortable for you. Don't forget about the pelvic tilt, very, very important when stretching the hip flexors. Finding that position, bringing the leg up, and starting the timer. So think about that pelvic tilt. Think about trying to feel the stretch through the hips. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the leg. Use that control. Or we're just swapping those legs over, moving into the opposite leg long lunge for the final time. So ease yourself into it slowly, lifting the hands or keeping the hands on the floor, square the hips, and then drive the leg down, and it's 30 seconds from now. Really good. Concentrate on that breathing. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to the floor. Tuck the toe under, pushing the weight back. Square the hips to the front. Keep that back nice and flat. If you can come up onto your fingertips or use blocks to do this. We want to truly work into that hip flexion and stretch out through the hamstring. Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And for the final time, into that hip flexor stretch, whichever hip flexor stretch you are choosing. Very slowly moving into the position, pelvic tilt, pull, push the hips, and last 30 seconds here. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly relax the leg back to the floor, pushing backwards, bringing the leg back around into a kneeling position. So we've focused on our hip flexors, we've focused on our hamstrings. So one of the most important parts of splits training is actually training our splits. So we're going to just practice our splits now. We're going to do 2 sets of 30 seconds. You can use blocks to support you. You can prop some pillows underneath your hips. I always say to aim for either a 3 out of 10 intensity, where you're sliding into a position where you just begin to feel the stretch, or I want you to work at a slightly higher intensity, say 5, 6 out of 10, where you gradually increase the stretch as it gets easier throughout the time. Okay, so we're going to take whichever leg you want to start with first, and very, very slowly you're going to slide into whatever your splits looks like for 30 seconds. The timer is on. You can play around with contracting the front leg so that the hamstrings relax, and you can also play around with squeezing the glute of the back leg to relax the hip flexor. Halfway through the time, just take a nice deep breath. Three, 2, and 1. Ease yourself out of that position. Nice and slowly. Swapping the legs over. And same thing. Sliding really slowly into that split, finding that stretch point that feels right for you. And then once you get there, we're going to hold for 30 seconds. In these split stretches, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, I really want you to focus on your breathing. Focus on that 3-second inhale and that 3-second exhale. And as you exhale, try to relax your body for this last 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Slide yourself out of that position really, really slowly. Just take a short break in this kneeling position, and then we're going to go in for our second set. So moving that leg forwards, sliding very slowly into that splits position. Final 30 seconds on each leg. Remember, it doesn't matter what your splits looks like. It doesn't have to look like mine. It just needs to be whatever your splits looks like for you right now. 3, 2, 1. Sliding out of those splits. Very, very slowly bring the legs back together. And for the final time in this stretching sequence, slide that front leg forwards. Find that position, find that stretch point that's comfortable for you. And final 30 seconds. The more we relax, the more we let our nervous system know that it's okay for us to be here and it doesn't need to protect us. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. This time bring that back leg forwards just to meet the other leg. So you're sitting in a piped position. And we're just going to finish off with a seated forward fold. So you can either do this with your arms up or with your hands down. And you're just going to slide them towards the feet. The feet can be flexed or pointed. You can hold on to the feet or you can reach in front of the feet. And our final stretch is just going to be a 30-second forward fold. "15 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very slowly fold up back through your spine into that seated position. And that's your split session finished. I really hope you guys enjoyed this front split stretch. This is the perfect routine to maybe do 2 or 3 times a week, along with some end range strength training to help you work further towards your front splits. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.